Whoa, this journal prompt caught me off guard, and it was inspired by these nesting dolls. Where do you feel you have to hide who you are? I didn't expect the answer to be LinkedIn, but here we are. When I worked in tech, I was often the only woman in the room, so I'd over-prepare, overperform, anything to be taken seriously. And when I was unpacking this, I kind of got snafu'd. There's a point where I needed to pause and really reflect upon what that meant for me and who I am and my identity. On the side note, there was a sticker that was bugging the crap out of me on this pen, so I spent some time reflecting and pulling the darn sticker off. And that's what I explored in my journal today, all the versions of me I've shaped to fit the moment. It makes you also appreciate just how simple things like nesting dolls can help you pause and reflect upon certain things in your life. And of course, as I mentioned before, the nesting dolls were really the inspiration for the visual prompt today. Just how each one gets smaller, but it's all still me. Some versions are louder, some feel like armor, some I almost forgot were there. But these nesting dolls were really important to help me reveal what are the versions of myself that exist and which ones do I show the world and in what situations. So let's move on to this drawing. So I actually had a lot of fun with this visual prompt, only because I'm in love with my tools. So let me get a little bit geeky and dorky on these tools. I'm always amazed how much you can build it up. And because I don't actually have many colors, it ends up being really helpful to be able to darken or keep it light just by one particular layer. Or you'll see later I use multiple colors once one is dry to kind of change the hue and tone, particularly because I hated the yellow of the polar bear and the gaudy orange of the tiger. Those are the only colors I had to kind of get close to what the original nesting dolls looked like. And I appreciate that with the Sanzin paper, which is sort of the original Tomo River paper, it doesn't bleed through. And between those sort of sets of tools, between the paper and the actual Tombow pens, it makes the art of drawing or the process of drawing just so much more delightful. And I don't know where they've been all my life. And so this is where I want to share a bit of a crush on these tools. And if you haven't come across these pens or even the paper in a Hobonichi, I invite you to explore those. And here I am going back with the outlining. So again, another tool I'm loving, and I'm so appreciative of the Coffee Monsters Co. So Helen, she introduced me to the Klenner Energel 0.4mm needle tip pen. And that's just been, again, a wonderful addition to my toolkit. I have a very small set of tools, but the ones that I do have are multi-purposeful. They have to fight to be in my pencil case because I don't have a lot of time to faff about with different options. But as I go along here, the beauty of these resources or these tools is that if you make a mistake, you kind of just integrate them into the image. Again, it's okay to screw up. It's okay to have things not look quite right. For example, the panda's face ended up being weird and I corrected it later. But at the end of the day, that's what art's all about. It's an expression and it's a way to not be judgmental on what you create and how you can put to paper what's in your heart. And I think that's a really important part of my journal and the processing of emotions that I have. And so if you haven't started a journal discipline, whether it be journal prompts or visual prompts, I really invite you to try. I think it's just such a beautiful experience to unpack for yourself. So here's my final product, and I'm really happy with it. Again, it's one of those things where it's not perfect, but it's perfect in the moment, and that's all that matters. The penguin's definitely my favorite. Which one is your favorite? Hey, thanks for watching. When you subscribe, we grow together because hopefully these prompts are helping you too. I'd love to hear from you in the comments or the community chat, so stop by.